What's up, guys? Your boy CNK Gaming back with another video, and today I'm going to be looking at some of the spawns on Strikezone. As promised, the last video uploaded was detailing some spawn scenarios on Freight. I'm going to go over Strikezone, which is a really tricky map, and I have another thing I want to add to this video, kind of explaining how you should play this map, because I'm not gonna name names or point fingers, but the vast majority of the amateur community does not play this map how it should play. And even some of the professional European players, people wonder why they're not able to beat top American teams at events. Well, I was watching some streams last night, and not even them, they're not even playing this map right. And why should I listen to Revenge? What has he won? I've won a lot of tournaments. I've won a ton of matches. I've beaten a lot of professional players, and not to just take it from me, but this is just the way the game should be played. This is not Revenge's way. This is the way the game should be played. If you want to look at Evil Geniuses, Optic Gaming, Team Envious, some of the best teams in the world that consistently place well at events and win championships, this is the way they're playing the game. Anyone that wants to do well at this game, this is how they're going to play it. And so hopefully I'm able to clearly bring you guys a little bit of explanation on how it should be done. Hopefully I don't confuse you or ramble too much. I'm just doing this straight off the dome. I haven't planned anything out, so it might be a little random. But anyways, let's jump into the tutorial. I'm going to show you Strikezone now. Strikezone domination spawns. For a competitive 4v4 rule set. I'm going to go over a couple of the problem scenarios that people don't understand, so I'm going to go ahead and start this game up real quick. I'll be just private match. I'm going to broadcast. Broadcaster mode. Codcaster. Alrighty. So the first thing that I want to detail is probably one of the biggest problems I see people are confused by when they're trying to capture A. And it could happen in a variety of scenarios. So wait for it to count down. One. Alrighty. So we're over here, we're on A, we're trying to capture it. And we're, watching our courtyard, or we're watching our A stairs. You always get killed from A1 up here. You always get killed from somebody coming this way and shooting you. And a lot of people rage, excuse me. A lot of people rage because, the way their team is positioned, they don't know how anybody could have gotten through. Let's say your opponents have B or C or something. They don't understand how their opponents could have gotten through their team's setup, when in actuality their opponents will spawn right here at the little hot dog stand at the top of A1. And I'm going to show you why. Now their opponents will just spawn right here, and then they'll look at them and shoot them, and they have no defense because they're not expecting someone to spawn this close. And you can have multiple players on A, they will still spawn there. And I'm going to show you now on the little overhead minimap. I'm going to show you why that happens. So let me bring it up real quick. Alright, so this is Strikezone, and you have, over here we have B. We have C over here in this corner. And then we have A. Excuse me for my horrible drawing skills. Alrighty. So the reason that this happens is because you pushed either through courtyard to A, or you push through here to A. You're trying to capture it, and if you do not have, well, I'm gonna even say this is a really tricky spawn here. This is one of the trickiest. Basically, any time that you're capturing A, you're gonna want to have someone check your A1, or you're going to want to be leery of it, because that's where they're most likely able to come. According to where according to where your teammates are positioned and where their team is where they're going to spawn. If they have B, that's their primary spawn. But if you have a teammate, let's say you have C over here, and if your teammates push this direction through bridge, they're pushing through closet, maybe one of your teammates pushes kitchen while you're going to A, you can start to see how your teammates are going to block the spawns right here. And the further your teammates push into B, they're going to start to block the B spawn as well. And so it's going to push your opponent's spawn to spawning front bar over here. And then eventually they're going to spawn right here. Since you have this control. And since they have A over here, they have A, and you're trying to take it from them, it's going to force them to spawn closer to A. And the reason they're not going to spawn on top of A, obviously, is because you're there. And it'll spawn them closer to A. And that's why they'll spawn above you. If your teammates push middle while you push over here, and let's say your teammate goes into kitchen from middle, they can still spawn over here if your teammate continues to push in towards the flag. If he doesn't push in and he just holds middle right here, they can still spawn here if he's not looking at it, because if he's looking like this way, he's not blocking any of this because he's not standing on top of it and he's not looking at it. So even though he's close to it, they can still spawn there. The only way for you to block this and block this area is for you to have presence up here, or you to be looking at it. So let's say you need a teammate, you know, sitting here, and maybe he can watch mid from sitting right there, or you have, you know, somebody sitting on A stairs right here, you know, watching this area for you. That's how you'd have to block it. Otherwise, you need to be leery of that. Another thing that people don't understand is how when they're capturing B, they have players that spawn in the back of B on them. That also has to do with your team's placement. Let's say you have C over here, and your opponents have A, and your opponents have B. Now you're trying to capture B, so you hop on it. They're not going to spawn at C because that's your spawn. They're not going to spawn there because you have, at least right now, you have map control of this area. They have map control of this area. And they have map control of this area, since that's the flags that you hold, unless you push them and block it somehow. That being the case, if your teammates, since you have, you know, this C side controlled, and you push through here to come into B, or you push through, getting confusing here, you push through kitchen to come into B, then you block their kitchen spawn, block their closet spawn, then their spawn will shift over here to A. But if you have a teammate that pushes it, and you have, you know, map presence around this area, you have, you know, map presence over here, it's going to block this spawn right here. And according to what your teammates are looking at or where they push, it's going to block, you know, the hot dog spawn right here that I showed you. And they will either spawn up here by the front door, or they'll spawn in the back behind you. And a lot of people are like, this game is broken, blah, 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 whatever. I mean, I guess depending upon how you look at it, it can be considered broken. But there is a reason behind why the game does what it does. And if you and your team play it properly, then you're not going to be screwed over all the time like people think. People think Well, it's just because the game is stupid. Not really. The game follows a pattern, and it just depends upon how you play the game, how your team rotates, and etc. etc. So that's a lot of times why they spawn in B back here behind you while you're capturing it, is because you have control of C over here, this little square of the map, because that's your flag, and you either push closet, which block closet, or you push kitchen, which block kitchen spawn, and then your teammates decide to push A, which blocks A spawn over here, and so they either spawn by the front door or they spawn in the back over here, and that's why they kill you. Simple as that. There's really nothing tricky at all to that whatsoever. And that's, you know, if let's say if you have B and you're in a spawn trap, they have A and they have C. If your teammates are trying to, like, you know, break out of the spawn trap, and you broke out, you're able to capture C, and now you're trapping them over here in this area of courtyard at A, and you guys decide to push for 3 cap or something. You push into A. You do not want your teammate to push through court, because if you have C, then that means you have this area of spawn control. You have B, this area is controlled, and their little area of spawn is going to be right through here, and this is the little A spawn, and according to where you're positioned is where they're going to spawn. So if you want, this is why 3 caps almost never happen on this map, because as soon as you push one flag, they'll spawn on another. And this is gonna bring me to another point of rotation that I'll explain here in a little bit. But like, if you're trying to capture A, like you want to spawn them at C or whatever you're trying to do, you do not. This is a mistake I see a ton of amateurs do. They like to pinch A flag, right? Because I mean, if their whole team is there, it's hard to capture it unless you pinch it from multiple directions. So have somebody push A from over here, have somebody push from over here, have somebody else push through court. That is a massive, 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 massive mistake to push court. You're basically going to give them a 2 cap by doing that. Because, I mean, if you're playing against good players anyways. Because as soon as your teammate pushes court, if he pushes through here, that's going to block this courtyard spawn. And with you pushing over here, that's going to block this. So yeah, you're going to get A real quick. Since you have B, they're not likely to spawn in B. They're going to spawn right up here. And that spawn I was telling you about. They're going to spawn in this area. And then they're just going to turn around behind them, and they're going to kill you off of A, and then they're going to have this spawn up here, which is right beside B. And since you have C, as soon as they do that and they're closer to B, you're gonna spawn on C, and they're just gonna walk straight to B. And they're going to capture B, and then they're going to have you spawn trapped in this little corner of hell over here, which is like impossible to get out of, and it's just so hard to get out of that little spawn trap. So that's going to give them a 2 cap, and then however long it takes you, and then they'll just rotate. You do not ever, ever, ever want to push courtyard spawn towards A. You want them spawning down here. Because you can sit from like mid over here, spawn kill them. You can sit over here at A, spawn kill them. You can sit in pro. You can sit in the bridge up here, spawn kill them. They're in the open. There's really no cover. There's these little boxes, you know, around here that they can sit on. But that, I mean, they have no positioning. The next major topic before I wrap this video up, because I know it's kind of dragged on and on and on. It's about rotation. On this map, people want to play and hold a 2-cap, but they do it the wrong way. This map is so small and it's so easy to push spawns and to have you know, spawns flipped and such, as I just explained. You don't really want to say, you know, we have B and we have A, let's spawn trap them over here at C. You don't, I mean, you can, but you have to know when to rotate. This map is all about rotation. So let's say we have A and B, and they go over here to take C. They have C now, and they're pushing really hard into B. Like, their whole team is going to be, like, all of them, all 4 of their players are pushing B. You don't want to, you know, rotate back this way and try to help your team in B. You don't want to do that, because 1, you're going to lose so much map control, because you're not going to have control. You're not going to have presence here. You're not going to have presence here. You're not going to have anyone over here. Nobody over here. So what that's going to do is that's going to, instead of them being confined to this little box, their box is going to open up, and they're going to have like a box like this. And then also, if you manage to lose the gunfights in here, then they're getting that flag, and they already have C. So you're going to be trapped over here in this little spawn at A, and they're just going to be ready to spawn kill you, take advantage of that. And that's why you don't want to do that. You want to rotate. So you have A and B, they have C, they push C to take your flag, they come in here, they're on it, they're neutralizing it. You don't want to rotate back to B. You do not want to do that. You want to come this way. You want to play little musical chairs with them, is what you want to do. You want to take C. So while their focus is all of them on B, they're all taking B. You know, they may leave one of their teammates over here to watch C, and 3 of them push B. Whatever the case is. You wanna try to trade caps with them. So you might want to leave one of your teammates like somewhere in here. So if they cap B and they try to run out of kitchen, he kills them. Or if they come over here and they go this way, that somebody's to kind of give them hell, you know, slow them down a little bit. Then you want to send people maybe into bridge up here through pro and come and hit C. You just want to rotate in a circle. Like, let's say you have C and B, and they have A, and they push A and they try to take your B, right? Well, instead of sending everyone through closet over here to try to take B, you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. You want to come around through here, take A, and let them have B. Now, if you have a teammate already near B, he can fight to hold them off as long as possible. But your primary objective is you want to rotate over here to A and take A. You don't. It's so much easier. I mean, there might be 1 player at A. I mean, there could be 2 players, but that's still a 3-on-2, a 4-on-2, and your favor, which you will always win if you play that properly. So, I mean, this is the difference between a professional player and an amateur. Is pros want to play by percentages. Amateurs like to make quote-unquote big plays. The game is already hard enough to play against a good team. You want to make it easy. You want to put the game in your favor. So try to play in a way that makes it easy on yourself and more difficult on them. So I mean, if you have a 2-cap, just rotate. It's so hard for someone to catch up and win this map if you play your rotations right. And I mean, you're not trying to, you know, a win's a win. You don't have to beat them by 100 points. It's the same as beating them by 1 point. I mean, rotation is everything. You don't have to try to 3-cap. You don't have to do none of that. The team that's going to consistently win maps is a team that rotates properly, hands down every time. If you watch events and everything, that's what happens. Hopefully I was able to give you guys a little bit of insight, didn't kind of piss you off with information that you already knew, but hopefully it made sense. And I didn't kind of beat it to death really, but I mean, I kind of feel like it needs to be said because so many people do it wrong. You know, hopefully you're able to learn from it. But yeah, that's gonna conclude this commentary. I'm fixing to go on to Sovereign now, talk about a few of the spawn issues in Sovereign. If you guys would like a more detailed approach to this series, then I could give you that. If you honestly don't know any of the spawns at all and you don't understand like anything on how it works, then I will make a more detailed video. Just let me know on that. I'm just trying to cover the main issues that I see. So that's that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'm fixing to move on to Sovereign. I'll have a Sovereign video up for you guys, detailing what I think are some of the biggest mistakes and things that people do not realize. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. It's been your boy CNK Revenge. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and make sure to follow my team as well. The links are in the header of my stream overlay, as you can clearly see them now. So thanks for watching, and